Hi, guys. Welcome back to the podcast. It's Trisha, and today I wanted to talk about 2025 ins and outs, my educated guesses of what I think we'll be seeing more of, what I think we'll see dropping out of style. And yeah, the only other ins and outs perspective I have was Emma Chamberlain's, and she kind of inspired me to do this. And I was like, yeah, I know it's like the second month of 2025. I think it's still early enough that we can make a few predictions. So I made this list actually in January, maybe like a week or two ago, prior to recording this podcast, and it's very interesting because the first thing on my outs list was Shein and fast fashion, and what a debate, right? So today or yesterday, something was announced about, I think it was yesterday, the Chinese packages, that there's been like some kind of loophole, and so the president was basically like, you guys can't do that anymore, and so packages are being held and we don't know where we're going to get them, and then Shein's probably going to rack up their prices. Who knows? I mean, things have been so chaotic these last few weeks. Like, everything's changing. So I mean, who knows what's actually going to happen, but it seems like that's actually happening. And I had already put Shein on this list. I just see so many people online. It's such a hot debate, People get shamed for using Shein. People who use Shein are very, very defensive of their position. So personally, I didn't use Shein for years. I used it, I think, when it very first came out, before I understood that it was like a fast fashion thing. And it was interesting because I don't think their prices were really that cheap. Like, they were just kind of normal. I mean, they weren't expensive, but they were like something you could buy at Charlotte Russe. So I guess it was, fast fashion prices. But I remember like wearing this dress from them. I had it and I wore it for years, and it lasted, and it was great quality. And everyone was just like, yeah, Shein's such bad quality. And that's never been an argument that has made sense to me, because since then I have purchased from Shein and their quality's fine. I mean, there's been a couple things that I'm like, what the heck is this? But it's better than you can get like on Amazon for sure. I, just take care of my garments and they last a really long time. But I do feel bad, when I support Shein. I did it for, some work clothes last year for sure, because I was wearing black tops, for example, and I didn't want to just, spend $120 on two or three tops when I could get tops for the entire week off of Shein. So it's, like, I think there's some valid arguments, and I think with what we're seeing, I think Shein's gonna die off now that this has come out about the loophole and closing that loophole. And I'm like 100%, yeah, Shein's gonna die off. We'll see. We'll see. It's, nothing's really good or bad. It's all contextual, and we'll see. I do think thrifting is gonna get an uptick. I mean, it's been trending upward for a while now. I actually haven't really been a thrifter for a long time. I thrifted a lot prior to, I would say, about 2021, 2020-ish, and then I started shopping at like Maurice's a lot. I don't know. I like found that I liked their jeans or something, and so then I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna shop at Maurice's." And then I don't know. I didn't really do a whole lot of clothes shopping in general, um, until I started working again in clothing retail, and so now I have like so many clothes because I've been given so many clothes and so many just, from getting a good discount. And so now I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm more back into the fashion world. And I think thrifting is gonna be in. I think also, as now that we're on the topic of fashion, polyester is out. This conversation of polyester is really hot on the internet. I didn't realize how concerned people were. I noticed I would get like, it was like, usually I would say middle-aged to older ladies asking about organic cotton. I got a lot, and I was like, "You're crazy. Why would you work out in organic cotton?" I still think that's crazy. I think there's got to be something better than organic cotton to work out in. You're going to work out in a cotton outfit? I just what? I feel like that would be really heavy and hot and uncomfortable, and how would that how would your sweat, you know, I think there's a lot of that, the PFAs, and there's a lot of chemicals and a lot of stuff in polyester. Now, am I very educated on this subject? No, because now I'm learning what PFAs are, and I'm like, well, okay, if it's polyester but it doesn't have PFAs in it, is there polyester without PFAs? I don't know, but I think in the most generalized version of this argument, polyester is essentially what people are going away from, and cotton is coming in. And just I feel like there's got to be something better. I know Tencel is very good, and I think I've seen a couple activewear brands use Tencel, but maybe it's not very good for activewear because I really just see it in fashion. I love Tencel. Um, I would love to see more brands using that, or even bamboo. Doesn't seem like as hot as cotton. Hemp is okay. But yeah, people are really fighting for this organic cotton thing, which is strange to me. I think wearing organic cotton like in a day-to-day setting that makes sense, but and being anti-polyester, whatever. I just feel like there's so many other fabrics out there. When you water it down, it's organic cotton's in, polyester's out. What's something else that is out? Um, Instagram perfectionism. So when I when I talked to okay, and I think this is one of Emma Chamberlain's too, Instagram perfectionism, and I chatted with ChatGPT about it briefly. Instagram perfectionism. I think Instagram in general is out. I haven't used Instagram in years in the way that I used it in like the 2010s, because I guess some people still see other human beings on Instagram. Like people actually post on Instagram, which is I don't know what group of people, or what group of people are still posting on Instagram. I only see memes. I see memes and like businesses. I haven't seen a personal post on Instagram. I don't know, maybe 21, 22. It's been a while. And I really wasn't on Instagram much last year. I I get on for an occasional scroll, probably like once, maybe twice a week. And then, I'm like, okay, the memes are funny, but they're actually like mostly depressing. I don't know. The memes on Instagram, they're not the most uplifting either. They're kind of like super like, oh, our lives suck. And maybe this is just like my feed, I guess. Maybe I've curated a feed of like liking things that are, I guess, kind of negative, but I don't know. I don't see human beings on Instagram anymore. I use Lemonade. I don't even use like TikTok. I use pretty much exclusively Lemonade now, and I didn't even use that really much last year because I had a bad experience where I posted that I liked Hydro Jugs better than Stanley's, and the entire world came at me. People were very mean, and as they can be on the internet, people are they're heartless, but I made a new account, and I've just been trying to be really careful with what I say. And what I've learned on the internet is just not to argue with people or even ask questions, or even like, I'm just so careful on the internet now. I I don't know that I have the skin for what people have to say, and I'm really not posting much. I like to scroll occasionally, and I feel like Lemonade is not a super overstimulating platform. Hopefully we get to keep it, because I know it was down that day that TikTok was down. But I mean, what else do we have? Facebook? Like, I don't count. I mean, most young people don't even have Facebook. I don't even count Facebook as like a social media platform anymore. Like, I it hasn't been relevant for at least 10 years, and weirdly I still find myself on it because I kind of like the ads that I get on Facebook. I don't know. And like sometimes I kind of see people post on there, but I don't even really care to see people posting on Facebook. I use it mainly for Messenger for communication. I don't even, what else is even out there anyway? Snapchat, I guess. Um, what is even a social media? I've been through so many phases of social media since 2005, with Zanga and MySpace, and then Bebo. I remember was one of them. Probably nobody remembers Bebo. There were a lot that came out that just kind of flopped immediately. They weren't bad ideas. I loved them. Tagged was one of them. And it was always interesting to see what performed well and what didn't. But anyway, I think in general, Instagram is out. I think what's in is digital minimalism, less social media, just being present. And maybe that's just a trend I'm seeing. Like, as I'm going into my 30s, I am so not concerned with what's on social media. It's not even social media anymore. And which is good because it was honestly kind of a waste of my time. And I like seeing the people that are in my life face to face. And that's pretty much it. Oh, YouTube. I don't count YouTube as social media, and I love YouTube, and YouTube I don't think is going anywhere, and YouTube is king, and I love it. What else is out? I don't know that Pilates is out, but it definitely, I think it had its moment, in 2023. Was it, or 2022? I don't even know. It exploded a couple of years ago. The Pink Pilates Princess moment. We had Pilates studios popping up everywhere. I tried a reformer Pilates class. It kind of feels like how like bar exploded in like the late 2010s. And it's not gone. It's just not what it was. Everyone isn't talking about Pilates. I think it's going to kind of taper off. I don't think it's out. If you like Pilates, keep doing Pilates. I think it's fantastic. Movement is amazing. And I loved the one reformer Pilates class that I took. It's really cool. It's great for posture, it's great for strength, and a lot of other things. I just don't see, Pilates already kind of, I feel like, tapered off. Nobody really talked about it last year in the capacity that they did the year before. So I just see it kind of, tapering off again. I don't know what's on the uptick though, because I feel like yoga had like its big explosion in the 2010s, and then bar, and then Pilates. And I'm wondering what's next, like kickboxing or swimming or juggling. I don't know. It could be anything. I do feel like weights are going to continue because of the evidence we have, and it's such a foundational piece for fitness. I think weights are going to continue to increase, and gym girls, gym guys, uh gym people are going to keep going to the gym and lifting weights. And I support that. That's kind of my goal. Even though I'm going to, school essential training to be a yoga teacher, as much as I want yoga to flourish, I think we should prioritize lifting weights. Yoga is like a nice benefit. It's got a lot of benefits. Supplement, I guess, to your workout routine. But yeah, what else is out? I'm just putting it out. I just think coffee chains, like, I don't know, like Starbucks are out. People have just been hating on Starbucks for such a long, like, it's, you either love it or you hate it. And I've always kind of been like in the middle. I will go to Starbucks and then I'm usually kind of disappointed, but some of their drinks are okay. It's just their coffee's not good. Like, it's just like the sugar and the flavoring that they put in there is good. Their coffee's awful. I bought one of their coffees, like, to make at home kind of coffee, and it always tastes burnt. You can't even taste the flavor. But when they make it from a Starbucks, the flavors are usually decent. Their I mean, their food is like plastic. I just think we can do better. I think so. The reason I think this, because 2020, we obviously saw a lot of small businesses minimize or close. And It was actually after that. It was within the last couple of years, I feel like I saw a lot of coffee, like local places shut down. But then I feel like we've had kind of a surge in the local coffee community, at least in my city. And I'm wondering if that's going around in the rest of America or the world. I think that local businesses will be thriving in 2025 as far as coffee companies. I think more people are going to turn to local places again. It seemed to be, I have such a narrow perspective because I'm like, well, this is what I did. I was really big on the local places for a while, and then I kind of moved to this suburb, and now I go to the chains. Like, I love Seven Brew, I love Dutch Brothers, and those kind of came up within the last few years, at least in my area. But I think also with health awareness and awareness of, you know, what we're putting in our body, it's not always great. All these energy drinks and all of these sugary and syrupy and whatever coffees, at least in local smaller places, a lot of times their syrups are house made. They're You just kind of know a little bit more about what's going into your coffee, and I think from a wellness perspective and also just supporting small, I think I would like to see smaller coffee businesses flourish. Nothing against Starbucks, but a lot of us hate Starbucks, right? A lot of us like it's caused a lot of outrage. So maybe it's just time we just kind of slow down on the Starbucks. But I mean, I still see you Starbucks popping up all over the place, so I don't know that it's actually going to go anywhere. A couple more things I had on my ins list: book clubs and reading. I think reading, I love that reading has become such a popular thing. I don't know where it came from. Like, I mean, people have always been reading, right? But I feel like with book talk and so many social platforms, I guess, reading has just exploded. Series have exploded. Just something about reading, and I'm here for it. I love reading. I've always been a reader. I mean, I go through phases, usually quite large segments of my life, where for a few years I just read books like crazy. And then for a few years I'm like, maybe I'm catching up on television series, which isn't my favorite to do, but I always feel out of the loop when I don't know a reference of a TV series, so that's why I watch TV. But yeah, book clubs and reading, I'm pretty certain that's going to explode. We just got a new Barnes and Noble built in our city. Reading was, I feel like it was on a downturn for a while. And it was only like I knew the hipsters really loved reading, and it was like them. And now it's kind of everybody. So I love it. I love that reading's coming in. And I think vinyl, I don't know, vinyl's kind of been coming back, but I think it's going to get even bigger this year. And maybe that's again where it's like it's my own perspective because now I'm into vinyl. But I don't know. I see it even at Target. I see it. Maybe it's always been there. But now that I see it everywhere, I'm like, oh, vinyl is like exploding. And it totally is worth it if you want to try vinyl. Highly recommend. But it is like kind of a collector's thing. It's like now it's another thing for me to collect. But it's not a bad thing because a lot of it is I'm getting used. I'm recycling vinyl that would otherwise end up in the trash. We talked about thrifting. Yeah, thrifting, vinyl will be in too. All right, guys, I am about to explode. I have to go pee. And we've reached the end of the list. So it is time now to say goodbye. Let me know if you guys liked this episode, and I will see you next time. Bye.